Hello everybody, I'm Melissa and welcome back to Book Bar and welcome to my December end of month wrap up. In the month of December, I read a total of 28 books and I had 2 DNFs. This will be the wrap up of the 12 books that I read in the second half of the month. If you want the first half, I'll have it linked up there. I'm also just going to kind of rapid firely talk about these because some of them are vlogs and things like that. So, but I will, still do characters, star rating, all that. And if this is your first time watching one of my wrap-ups, I do them in the order I completed the book. So it might not necessarily be how I started the book. Like I might have started a book at the beginning of the month and not finished it till like midway through. And so it's in order of how I finished it. So the first book that I completed in the second half of the month was Her Night with Santa by Adriana Herrera. And I absolutely loved this. This is a sapphic Christmas-y novella. And it was absolutely fantastic. It follows Fernez, I believe her name was, and Christina, aka Santa. And Fernez is stranded on an island, and I think it's the Dominican Republic. I could be wrong, but she's stranded on an island, and her uncle tells her, it's like, oh, you can stay at my friend Chris's house, Chris Kringle, Santa. And so she goes, not expecting anyone to be there. Well, it turns out Christina always goes there the night after Christmas for like a week to decompress from Christmas. And they had a really fun meet cute because Fernez doesn't know that there's anyone there, and she might be using some toys because she sells sex toys. And she creates sex toys, but she might be using some on herself. And Christina walks in and sees that, and she might help out. And so yeah, it was fantastic. It was just a fun, sexy time, and I gave it 4 stars. Next up, I completed A Dawn of Onyx by Kate Golden. This was a fantasy romance. It's like Dislike to Love, kind of captive vibes. But basically, Arwen is a healer, and she gets captured and has to heal someone in the Onyx Kingdom. And the Onyx Kingdom, we don't like them, or we believe we don't like them. And yeah, things go from there, and she gets captured, and she makes a deal to save her brother's life, and ends up having to stay in Onyx Kingdom. And, she might find someone that she wants to be with there. And then there's some secrets revealed. And I am terrified for what's going to happen next. Just saying. But I gave it 4 stars. And I purposely left the hero's name out of it. So, next I finished Some Winter's Evening by Erin Langston. This is a historical romance. This is a kind of spin-off novella of Forever Your Rogue. This is Gavin Sinclair, who's Cora's brother, and Amelia. And Amelia is about to be Cora and Nate's new governess for their children, and on her way there, she has to stop at like an inn, and she stops there, and she sees Gavin, and he's eating he has a minced pie in front of him, and she goes up and asks him if she could have it, and he thinks that she is propositioning him, and he's like, no, I don't, you're great, but no. And so she pours his ale on his head, and then they realize that it was all a misunderstanding, and it was just absolutely adorable. I gave 4.5 stars. It was such a fun little novella, especially if you read Forever Your Rogue, because you do see Cora and Nate and the kids, and it's just a good time. Then I read Trick Shot by Kayla Grosse. This was another novella. I read it for Novellathon. This was a Snowden MMF romance between Jace, Leo, and Riley, and Leo might lie to Riley a little bit, and that's going to cause problems. And it was just, for what it was, which was basically just sex scene after sex scene, which I had no problem with. It was too long. It was almost 200 pages. And, yeah, there was a little bit of a plot, obviously, but, not enough to warrant it being 200 pages. So, yeah, I gave it 3 stars. It was fine. Then I reread Grip by Kennedy Ryan. this was a reread of my 2022 favorites. There will be a video coming out soon of like me recapping my favorites. And so, yes, this is like interracial romance, second chance. Grip and Bristol had like a moment in flow, and then like it turns out that Grip possibly had a girlfriend and lied to Bristol about it, and so now it's like 8 years later, and she's like kept him at arm's length, and she might realize like some stuff might happen. He might start to date someone else, and she might realize I'm gonna lose the love of my life. So it's time to put up or shut up, and it's just absolutely beautiful. I loved it. Still give it 5 stars. Then I read Freedom is a Constant Struggle by Angela Davis. This is a like series of speeches that Angela Davis has given over the years. It's very pertinent to now. There's a lot of things about like Ferguson and Palestine and different like how basically we're not free until everyone's free kind of thing. And it's fantastic. I'm not reading it because I just don't feel right reading it. And yeah, it was definitely worth a listen, and I'm glad I listened to it. And I feel like I did learn quite a bit, so yes. Then I finished Still by Kandi Ryan, again, a reread. I'm not going to say much about this because it is continuation of Grip and Bristol's story. And just know that if you read it, you will cry. And even if you read it a second time, you will cry. A lot. Probably even more the second time. When you know it's coming. And yeah. It was beautiful again. 5 stars. Then I reread A Love Letter to Whiskey by Kandi Steiner. I still really enjoy this. This is B and Jamie's story, but the angst was a little too much this time around. I don't know if it's because it's like just be together. Like I know the story, and like so you just want them to be together. And like the journey isn't as fun the second time because there's just so many like right person, wrong time moments, and you're just like we want to strangle him. So yeah, I still gave it 5 stars though. I'm not going to change my rating, but I don't know if it would be like as high of a favorite as it was last year in 2022, which now is 2 years ago. Weird, but yeah. Still gave it 5 stars though. Then I finished Hold Fast by Eliza MacArthur. I read this for my reading new releases vlog. I'll have a link to there. This one I gave 4 stars. This is Ewan and Una, and Ewan is the laird of the MacDonald clan, and something happens to his brother. He gets gored by a boar at the beginning, and he needs a healer, and he needs a healer bad, and someone says, like, I know the Camerons have a really great leader, or healer, and so he goes, and the Camerons and the MacDonalds don't like each other, and he goes, and he's, like, gonna beg the Cameron healer to come. Well, he just so happens to find her wandering the side of the road, because it's Una, who has just gotten out of a handfast with Laird Cameron, and he was a awful, awful human being, and yeah, so things happened between the two of them, and it was beautiful, but like, I don't know, I felt like it was very, like the end was just too happy, like everything worked out perfectly. There was no complications to anything that happened. So, yeah, but I still gave it 4 stars. Then I read Raiders of the Lost Heart by Segura. This was a like dislike to love. They go on an archaeological dig together. It's Ford and Corey. Ford was so frustrating, and I don't know. I didn't love it. It's still in 3rd person, which I don't love. So, yeah, I don't know. I gave 3.5 stars. It was still good. I'll probably continue with the series. Then I finished Revenger by Brittanee Nicole. Also read this for the new releases vlog. This is very much like Taylor Swift coded. You see all sorts of Swiftie nods and mentions. And it's just a quick novella. Ex-boyfriend's dad, Lake, I think I called her Lark in the vlog, but Lake, she catches her boyfriend cheating on her with another man, and she decides to get revenge by sleeping with his dad, also named Ford, like the last book, but it was fun. It was just a good dirty time, and I give 4 stars. Then the last book that I finished, literally on the last day of the year, was Powerless by Lauren Roberts, and I loved this. I gave 5 stars, and if you watched my 23 favorites from 2023, you will have seen this book in there. I loved it. Kai and Peyton are just absolutely, like, the banter is just perfect. Like, there were so many moments where I was just like, their banter was just, like, I think I tabbed the most banter moments because I just loved their banter and their back and forth and their one-liners. And was this book predictable as all predictableness could be? Yes it was. Do I care? No, I don't. Was it a super original? Not really, but I don't care. I loved it, and that's all that matters. So yeah, those are the 12 books I read in the second half of the month. My reading slowed way down because I was visiting family, and I'm still visiting family. So yeah, if you made it to the end of this video, leave me a Christmas tree emoji because it's the end of the Christmas season, holiday season. It's all over till next year, which is crazy. And don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, all the fun stuff. It really helps me out. And I'll talk to you all in the next one. Bye.